All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Alan Perry. I am the Australian and New Zealand Director of Camp Counselors USA, and I'm very excited to be jumping on for a call with Chris from Camp AGAWAK, all the way in Wisconsin. Nice and late in the evening for you, or not too bad?
Well, it's not too bad. It just gets very dark very early these days. So
In the winter, yeah.
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 So
Well, look, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to be able to have a chat with you and talk about the program and what amazing things that Camp AGAWAK does with our participants, but also in how you look after the girls that come to your camp. For those that don't know, CCUSA has been working with Camp AGAWAK, for as long as I can remember, so probably the mid-90s. We've been supplying amazing staff for Camp AGAWAK. The girls that go and work at Camp AGAWAK had the most amazing time. You have a great returnee rate, and so much so that we're also joined online is Lucy, who actually worked at AGAWAK for a number of years, and has actually now come to work for CCUSA Australia and New Zealand. So she's great. So any questions that you might have after our presentation, you can always bombard the office and ask Lucy about Camp AGAWAK. So that's great. So I'd like to welcome everyone for jumping on and joining us here, but I'd also like to welcome everyone who's streaming us live on Facebook, or if you're going to be watching this on demand afterwards. So thank you so much. Chris, why don't we jump in? Tell us a little bit about AGAWAK and also about yourself. How did you get involved in Camp AGAWAK?
Well, so I've been working for Camp AGAWAK for 15, it'll be 16 years. Mary Freed, she's the owner and director. We started off as being friends. Our kids were the same age, and it just looked like such a fun place to work that I asked her for a job, and I've been there ever since. So Camp AGAWAK is a traditional all-girls camp. We've been around. We were established in 1921. So we were 101 years old this past summer. We are just full of traditions, and the camp was started by two women, which is kind of an interesting fact. I don't know that a lot of people know that. We are not necessarily affiliated with any religion or anything else. We are truly your old traditional camp. We provide girls with either a full 8-week session, or they can come for a 4-week session. And for our littlest campers, we offer them a 2-week or a 4-day option. But we are just an all around northern woods camp.
Excellent. So what would the age group of the kids coming to camp be?
We have girls that are 7 years old all the way up to 15. And then after their last year at camp, we do invite them back to be counselors. So we have some really littles and some girls that are ready to be young women.
Marvelous. So how many girls are we talking about that come to camp at one time, and then how many staff do you have, or that do you hire? And also, I know it's not just Americans you hire, obviously you hire international. So maybe give us a breakdown of sort of maybe other countries that you might recruit from.
Absolutely. So at any given time at camp, we will have around 260 campers there. And that is pretty well spread out. We have maybe 60% of our campers come from the state of Illinois in the United States, but we have campers from across the United States: California, Florida, Texas, Indiana. We have some girls that come from Mexico. We've had campers as far away as Barcelona. So kind of it's a nice mix of the geographic areas in the United States. Our staff is also a mix. We have international counselors that come from camp, from CCUSA and Camp America, but we absolutely adore our international counselors. They comprise about 1/3 of our counselors. We have probably about 75. We will hire about 25 internationally. And we get counselors from the UK, from Australia, from Mexico, Ireland, Scotland. I think we've had one from France, but they're really what we consider kind of our core counselors, because they usually are outstanding workers. They are great role models, and they're just fun. I mean, we have an international counselor in every cabin at camp during the summer. And we love them because not only do they bring such a great vocabulary, it's always fun learning what a jumper is compared to a sweatshirt and things like that. But they genuinely care about the kids. They always come with great skills to lead our activities. And then rounding out the rest of our counselors, they're comprised of former campers or maybe American that just want to, they're going into maybe the field of education or child psychology. And this is like a really great opportunity to put on their resume, because it really encompasses a lot of skills that you will use in those fields. So they could come. We have counselors also from Texas and California and across the United States.
Well, and I guess that's probably the nice thing about this program. It is a cultural exchange J1 visa. So that's the amazing part. You get to immerse yourself in the American culture, and especially at AGAWAK, you know, being over 100 years old, that's the true making of culture right there. But also the ability for us to share our culture, whether you come from Australia or New Zealand or the UK or Mexico. Yeah. And the kids just love that and really, you know, immerse themselves in that as well, which is amazing. Lucy, I know that, you know, you worked at camp for a couple of years. Tell us a bit about maybe your experience at Camp AGAWAK. What did you do, and maybe how did you get hired, and maybe the friendships that you've made from camp?
Yeah, definitely. So I was at Camp AGAWAK for 4 summers, starting from 2015 through to 2018. I got hired at the Sydney job fair when we used to do them face-to-face, and Mary came and spoke about Camp AGAWAK, and I was like, I need to go to this camp. And I just had to go there, got hired. At camp, I was a general counsellor, but I also worked up on our climbing tower and down at the ski docks. I was in a cabin with about 10 to 12 campers and with some co-counsellors as well. It sort of varied from year to year. One year you might have 2 co's, one year you might have 1. It sort of just depends. My camp experience, I can't even explain it in one word. It was just absolutely incredible. Like, most of my best friends still today are other counselors from the program, and I still keep in contact with a lot of like the American staff in the campus as well. So it's definitely one of those experiences that it doesn't just end when the summer ends. Like, it's a lifelong thing that just stays with you forever.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Chris, tell us a little bit about, and I might jump on and just share the screen with everyone. So we'll do that. So bear with me for a minute. So tell us a little bit, while we're sharing about the screen, a little bit about Camp AGAWAK. I'll scroll through the page that we've got up here. Just sort of about what you look for when you're hiring staff. Obviously the age group that you're looking for, and then we can jump into a little bit about the skills as well.
Sure. So really what we're looking for are role models for our girls. Somebody that genuinely cares about the kids. They are willing to kind of put their needs sometimes aside for the benefit of their campers. We're looking for girls that can lead or assist an activity at camp, because you're not only a cabin counselor, but you will be leading activities. We want girls that are not afraid to be silly, that can show that, you know, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can dress up in a costume and have a lot of fun. And it's okay to show everybody that you can be whoever you want to be. And then really girls that make good decisions, you know, that you might want to be everybody's friend in the cabin, but sometimes you have to be that adult, and you have to make a decision that might not be popular, but to understand that there's always a reason behind the policies and things that we do. But really, we want our counselors to have fun. We want them to show the girls what a good role model is. So, but we have lots of activities, and we obviously will need counselors to come with a skill, or at least, be willing to try something new. We do some training, like for our tango tower. If anybody is interested in doing that, we provide that training on site.
And that would be like high ropes and climbing towers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
definitely. Well, look, and looking through the list, you've got a wide variety of arts and crafts up there, lots of different sports, digital media, fitness, gymnastics, outdoor adventure, the performing arts. There's our climbing wall, target sports, as well as waterfront, which we tend to get a lot of Aussies and Kiwis that are come in with or without their qualifications, so that's great, as well as yearbooks and other adventures. So in terms of the skill sets, obviously it would probably vary based on where they're working. Obviously, as you said, you put them through training for a climbing tower. If they're on the waterfront, obviously you'd prefer that they're maybe coming in with a lifeguard qualification,
Yes.
maybe a bronze medallion, or a surf or a pool lifeguard certification.
Yes, because when you arrive, our tower training, the girls actually would arrive 2 days earlier than the rest of the staff, and the training is 2.5 days, full 2.5 days. If you come without a lifeguard certification, that certification takes a little bit longer, and we just don't have enough time during our pre-camp training to do that. So we would ask that you'd come in with that. But you aren't always just doing one activity either. So if you come in and you know how to do basketball and you like to do arts and crafts, you're not always just in one activity. Pretty much everybody could do walking. So maybe we would put you in a walking period for one period, but there are 6 activity periods during a day. So we don't want to put anybody in, say tennis for 6 periods. We would want to mix it up a little bit. So you do have some variety in your day.
Yeah, and I think that's great, having that ability there at AGAWAK to have that flexibility and try different things, as well as we get a lot of people that have different skill levels in different areas, so it's great. I'll just scroll up on the page. Obviously we won't play the video, but there's you've got amazing video presentations up on your website, so I do recommend that if anyone hasn't done so already, jump on and watch the videos. They're actually really inspiring, and I love watching Camp AGAWAK's videos. They're so great, and they just cut to the core of what Camp AGAWAK is all about. Now, for those people that are looking at going, okay, where is Wisconsin? Where am I going?
Right.
So we do have a little map up here, and I'll see if I can zoom out a little bit just to sort of give you an idea as we sort of zoom out. So you're talking about right up on the border of Canada, in Wisconsin, near Milwaukee and Chicago. So you're kind of like right in the middle of the United States, but just at the top part. That's probably the easiest way to describe it for those, because I do get a lot of people going, Wisconsin, where would that be? So it's an amazing area up there. I know that covered in a lot of snow during the winter and your lake freezes, but during the summer you have beautiful weather. What would a typical day, what are you looking at in terms of temperatures and sort of, I guess maybe run us through what time would I be waking up, or be getting to bed at night if I was at AGAWAK?
Sure. So a typical day would start about 8:15. Our bell, we have a giant bell that rings, and that kind of is your your alarm clock. It also tells you all throughout the day when you change activities, when is lunch, when is dinner. the bell will ring for you. So you get up, we all meet at flagpole, all 250 of us will gather around the flagpole. We give some morning announcements, so maybe some shout outs if it's a birthday or camper counselor of the day are announced in the morning. And then we go up to breakfast and everybody eats together. We have a giant lodge and we are all there together. After breakfast is cabin cleanup. Everybody has their jobs to do. And then if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, it's an activity day. So we will run our activities in the 3 activities in the morning, break for lunch. Then we have a little bit of a rest period. And then our 3 activities in the afternoon. After that, it's dinner at 6 o'clock. Then there might be a little time before our evening program begins. And that usually starts anywhere between 7 and 7:30. And it's different every night, except for Sundays. Sundays is the one night where we have campfire and we are all around the campfire. It's down on the lake. It is beautiful when the sun is setting, and the loons are calling. It's a gorgeous, very, very nice way to end your week. And so that's on Sundays. On Wednesdays and Wednesdays and Saturdays, those are alternate programming days. So if you are a counselor, that would be your day off. You would either have a Wednesday or a Saturday off. So we can't run our normal programming because half our counselors are gone. So we do something different. It might be an all waterfront day. It might be a carnival. It might be kindness day, but we do plan activities all through the day. So it's scheduled. We don't necessarily want the campers to have a lot of downtime for a number of reasons. One, if you have a homesick camper, you don't want them to have a lot of downtime. We want to keep them busy. And number 2, you came to camp to be engaged, to be involved, to be, working with other campers. And because if you wanted to sit home and do nothing, then you probably should want to sit home and do nothing. And Sunday is also our kind of relaxing day. You can sleep in if you want to, or if you get up, you can go to the lodge, and Ducky, who is our cook, Lucy knows who he is, has been with us for 28 years. He will make you pancakes to order, chocolate chip or blueberry or apple cinnamon, or he will make you avocado toast. So you have the choice. Really great food in the morning or sleep in. So it's a pretty good choice.
It's amazing. Actually, tell us a bit about the food at camp, because we do sometimes get folks going, oh, what kind of food would I be getting? I might be a vegetarian or a vegan, so what would they be looking at? Do you have a salad bar?
Sure.
Tell us a bit about that.
We do. And we do have campers and counselors that have various food allergies. Maybe they are gluten-free, maybe they are vegan. So in the mornings, we always have a hot breakfast, and that it could be oatmeal, it might be pancakes, it might be scrambled eggs and bacon and bagels, but there is always cereal available for cold. There is always fresh fruit available during breakfast. We do have like non-dairy milk if that's needed. We would keep that in the kitchen for you. And then at lunch and dinner, same thing. We have a hot meal. So it might be chicken sandwiches, it might be maybe a pasta bar, it might be, pizza on Friday night, could be chicken wings or maybe hamburgers on the grill. But there is also a full salad bar with some proteins like beans. I know eggs aren't vegan, but for some people, hard-boiled eggs count for their protein. And so it's a really nice salad bar. And lots of times Ducky will have a homemade soup that is also there. We have a peanut butter and jelly bar that's a way for those that have nut allergies. However, we never cook with peanut oil or any nuts in any of our food.
Yep.
It's always separate. There are also lots of gluten-free options. We have gluten-free pasta. We have gluten-free bread. So those types of allergies we do accommodate for.
Oh, awesome.
But
Oh, that's amazing. Lucy, I'm assuming, you know, you loved your time at camp. Food was great for you.
No, I absolutely loved it. And like Chris was saying, there was such a variety that it was never boring, and you could just sort of, whatever you were feeling that day, there was always something there that would satisfy you.
Awesome. Yep. That's great. Now, Chris, tell us a little bit. You mentioned, you know, the staff will be off on a Wednesday or a Friday. I know sometimes we'll get folks going, oh, but I'm at camp, so how am I going to get into town, or what events, you know, where could I go, and so forth. Does AGAWAK sort of organize like events off, or, you know, is it a lot of, I remember at my camp, it was, you know, your new best friend is the American that drives to camp, and everyone would jump in the car with them that way. And, you know, some of my best friends to this day are still those that, you know, I met that way. So, but tell us about AGAWAK.
Sure. So we do, so in addition to your 1 day off a week, you also get an early night, which means right after the evening flagpole, you are done. You don't have to come to dinner. You are done for the night. And you have a late night, which means after the evening program, you are off duty. So you don't have to go back to the cabin to put the kids to bed. That's your co-counselor. So you do have that time off as well. We provide a van, what we call town runs. So we have vans, you would sign up either on your day off or your night off for a time that you would like a ride into town. And Minocqua it's a small town, but it's got some really cute shops. It has a public beach that's there. There's a bike path. So there's things to do in town. You can go have lunch in town if you'd like. And then you also then sign up for when you'd like to get picked up. And so our van kind of runs on days off about every hour and a half, 2 hours, picking everybody up. So for those of you that would be of legal drinking age in Wisconsin, which is 21, we do allow you to go into town, and we provide rides to that, but we are pretty strict about that. So you have to be of legal drinking age to go into the bars.
Yep. Definitely. So I know you do some amazing events during the summer. One of the ones that I absolutely love watching, and I've been watching it for years, is your 4th of July. Tell us a little bit about what you do for 4th of July.
Yeah, so 4th of July is it's a big deal at camp, and it's a big deal in Minocqua. We've actually done some things a little bit different since Lucy was here. COVID had a part in all of that, but what we do is we get up in the morning, everybody has breakfast in camp, and then we have brought everybody into town, campers, counselors, and all of the shops are open. Some are open early for us, and we pretty much have downtown to ourselves. Wow. So campers, we can go into the stores and shop. There's a great Minocqua fudge company that's there. There's a popcorn store. There's t-shirts that will make any t-shirt you want. So that's fun. Then we come back for lunch. We will come back to AGAWAK for lunch, have lunch, do a little rest period. Then we will go back into town. Town is only about not even 10 minutes away for us. We will go back into town, and about 150 of our campers will perform a dance in the parade. So it is a huge, big thing for us. Everybody in Minocqua waits for the AGAWAK dancers to come through on the parade. It's really a big deal. We have our own fire truck that leads the parade dancers, and they are playing the music on top of it. We watch the parade. Then we will go to the local ski show, because Minocqua is on a big lake. It's actually an island city. So we will go watch the ski show and then watch the fireworks that are over the lake. And then everybody goes home.
Yeah, it's amazing. So the video footage that you guys show every year, I love it. So it's amazing. So Okay, so obviously jumping back to what you look for in staff, so obviously caring and good role models. Your camp dates, so they need to arrive around the 7th of June, maybe a little bit earlier if they're coming in for the ropes course training, and then camp goes till the 9th of August with that. Now you up on your website, you do say you hire for males, you hire females, but you also do hire a few male positions. Tell me a little bit about what some of those positions are. And also, I guess sometimes we get people going, oh, it's an all girls, but do you do stuff with a boys camp down the road or something like that?
So, and I just want to clarify the dates. If you are going to be coming and you are on the Tango Tower, the climbing tower, you would arrive on June 7th.
Okay.
If you are not going to do that training, we are allowing you to come on June 9th, which is a Friday. So you can either come Wednesday or Friday. And yes, August 9th is the last day of camp. So the males that we hire are usually like they're on our maintenance staff, or they could be an activity leader. We've had males that have been our head tennis instructor, or they could be boat drivers. And lots of times they actually do like double roles. They may help out sometimes with the maintenance guys, but their main job is an activity. So we've had climbing instructors, we've had archery, riflery instructors that have been male. And then with the guys camp, with COVID, the last 2 years, we did not do any large socials, but we probably will next year. And so there's about, I don't know, 6 or 8 guys camps that are within a reasonable range to bus to. And so we will alternate. We might have a social where the boys camp comes to AGAWAK and we put out a big dance party. Maybe we go to another camp and it's like an open waterfront or carnival type thing. So we do events with boys camps.
Yep.
And we're hoping that continues next year. So
Awesome.
we don't have any COVID issues.
Excellent. Now, look, COVID, obviously, the last couple of years has been a bit weird with COVID. Tell us a little bit about the protocols at Camp AGAWAK. If, for example, a councillor was to get COVID while they're at camp, it is a question that we would sometimes get. So,
yeah. So before you come to camp, we actually will have a nursing staff. We contract with a company that would meet you at the airport, and we would do a COVID test on site for you. It does not get charged to you. Then you would come to camp, and if you would get COVID, we would just basically what you would do at home. We have 4 registered nurses on staff, plus a doctor for the first week and a half of each session. They come. We would, we have a cabin designated for COVID situations. So you would be separated from your cabin for a little bit, and for up to 5 days. And then depending on what the CDC comes up with, their protocols change, but then you would return to your cabin and just be masked. But you would not be sent home. We would just take care of you.
Yeah, definitely.
As needed.
And look, and at the moment, you still need to be double vaccinated to go to the United States. So that's part of the program and the application process there as well. So to jump in, to tell for those folks that might be really intrigued and excited to come and work at AGAWAK and want an interview, it's a fairly easy process. Just go to www.ccusa.com.au or .co.nz. Click on that big apply button and start your application form. From there, we'll contact you and have a chat to you. You'll be able to book in for an interview slot with Camp AGAWAK. We are going to be doing a virtual job fair. It'll be our Saturday morning, the 5th of November, which will be a Friday afternoon, early evening on the 4th with Camp AGAWAK. You'll get 15 minutes to sit and have a chat. And if Chris and Mary, who might jump on as well, they like you and you like them, they'll go, come work at Camp AGAWAK, and that's it. You're hired. It's simple. It's easy. We make it as seamless as possible. So there are some steps you'll need to go through just with our application form, you know, and putting some documents up. There are fees to do the program, but most of those fees are covering the insurance portion of what you get when you're on the program. Because while you're at camp, you get food and accommodations included. Your travel insurance is included, that for the length of your visa. The visa itself will match your work dates at camp, and then you get 30 days to travel before camp starts, and you get 30 days to travel afterwards. So all those brand new friends that you've just made at camp, you get to travel around with afterwards, which is amazing. And then you get paid while you're at camp. You're not going to become rich and famous working at camp. You know, it's all about the experience, but you'll make $2,000 for the summer. And that really does, that offsets the cost to go over and have this amazing experience. And the great thing is, as Lucy pointed out, you can go back year after year and have these friendships that last a lifetime. Lucy, any words of advice for those people that might be interested in AGAWAK, or should they just call you?
I mean, they can definitely contact me, but I'll just say go into it with an open mind and no expectations. I feel like when you go in there with an open mind and no expectations, you get to experience the magic of camp, and that's what it's all about. Like, go in there, just enjoy every minute of it, and just take care of the kids. You will create these amazing bonds with the kids and with the staff, and just enjoy every minute of it.
Definitely.
It is almost impossible to describe this job with words. I don't think you can do it justice. You know, talking to Lucy and someone that has gone through the experience, I think is wonderful. I think you get a lot of good information there, but it is difficult to describe the job. It is probably one of the most rewarding things that you will do. You have other human beings that will just instantly connect with you and will look up to you, and they count on you, and giving back in that way, there's really not a greater feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, I guess one last question we do sometimes get, and then we might open up, see if anyone else has any questions here. But is Camp AGAWAK open to hiring friends if they are signing up and potentially maybe wanting to come to camp as well?
Actually, we did. We did that last year a couple times. We had some girls that came together, and it was great. It was great. They, you know, it took away some of their nervousness by coming together, and they had an instant support person, but we have done that.
Yep. Perfect. Excellent. Any other words of advice when they do jump on to have an interview with you? What's some hints that you might give out before your interview in a couple of weeks' time?
You know, have some questions ready that you want to ask, and not just the basic ones. Like, if you want to know what's the culture like? What do you do when, if, you know, maybe you don't get along with your co-counselor? How do we work that out? What kind of training do you provide? And then really be prepared to have some examples of your life experiences that will transfer over to the camp environment. Like, where have you been? What have you done that has prepared you to be a camp counselor?
Yeah, definitely. So telling about their experience working with children or peer support and those type of areas. Right. So yeah, absolutely. Perfect. What we might do is open up. Does anyone have any questions that they might like to jump on? Feel free to either type them in, or you could, you know, open up your mic and camera if you'd like. No. Gosh, maybe we did.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah, actually, yeah, go ahead, Pippa.
Is there a uniform for the counselors?
Oh, good question.
Good question. There is not. The only thing we do ask is that on Sundays, everybody wears navy bottoms and a white shirt to lunch and dinner. Those are our colors. But it doesn't have to be an AGAWAK shirt or anything. It can just be any white shirt. However, we do provide you with some staff t-shirts that we give to you right at camp, no charge to you.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Any other questions? No? Awesome. All right. Well, Chris, I just want to thank you so much for jumping on, and also Lucy, thanks for jumping on and having a chat. For anyone that is interested, they can always call the CCUSA Australia or New Zealand phone number, and then we can transfer you across to have a chat to Lucy if you would like to do that, and have a chat. So we can do that. But I just want to thank you so much for joining us, Chris. We're really excited to continue this great tradition that we have with finding you amazing staff, and look forward to CCUSA being able to find a stack more for the summer of 2023. So we're excited, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. And really, CCUSA has provided us with amazing counselors over the years. We've never gone wrong. You've always come through for us.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. We love working with Camp AGAWAK.
Yeah.
You are one of our faves. So thank you so much. All right. If there's no more questions, I'm going to stop all the streams. So bear with me for a minute.